friends, and welcome to the channel Apprenons Le Français. I hope you are all doing good and practicing the lessons to learn French. Today's lesson is about the colors. So the colors in French is called les couleurs. Les couleurs. And if you're following my lessons, I hope you would remember that in my last lesson, I told you whenever you are learning the new vocabulary or new words, you must learn them specifically in French. You must learn them with the articles. Whether it is indefinite article or definite article, you must learn the new vocabulary with the article. So here we are learning a new word, and that is couleur. With les, it is plural, so it is les couleurs. Singular article with color is la. The color is feminine. Why we must remember the new vocabulary with the article? Because in French we have some things feminine and some things are masculine. So when we are learning the new word, if we learn it with the article, we come to know whether it is masculine or feminine, and it solves a lot of our problems in our further lessons. So la couleur, couleur is feminine, or une couleur with indefinite article, it is une couleur because this is feminine. Okay, so let us start with our today's lesson of colors. Okay, so the colors remind me of a rainbow. Now what's a rainbow in French? Rainbow is called l'arc-en-ciel. The arc in the sky. Okay, ciel is sky. And this is masculine. The rainbow is masculine. So, l'arc-en-ciel. So, now here we learn to have our lesson of colors. We start with the colors in the rainbow. So, les couleurs dans l'arc-en-ciel. That means the colors in the rainbow. Okay. So, when I was in my primary classes, to learn what are the colors in the rainbow, I was taught this formula or this rule to remember the colors, and that is Vibgyor. Vibgyor. So with V, the color is violet in English, and I, that is indigo. With B, it is blue. G stands for green. Y stands for yellow. O is for orange, and R is for red. So it was easier to remember this way. Now I'll tell you how are these colors called in French. The violet in French is violet. And I forgot to tell you one thing here. The colors in English or in French, they are adjectives. What is an adjective? Adjective is something that qualifies a noun. So, for example, if I have to say a red flower, so this red is qualifying the flower, the color of the flower. So that is why that is an adjective. And every adjective in French has to be accorded with the noun. So, if I say a red flower in French, I have to say a red flower in French. So I would say flower. If you remember the last lesson, the flower was feminine and it is une fleur. Une fleur. And I have to use the adjective of color. Here, adjective of color in French are always placed after the noun. And red in French is rouge. So it will be une fleur rouge. We'll come to this practice a bit later. First, we will understand what the colors are called in French here. Okay. So, violet is violet in French, and if we have to make it feminine, okay, as I told you, the colors are adjective and they have to be accorded with the nouns according to the noun. If it is masculine, we'll use a masculine adjective. If it is feminine, we have to change it into a feminine adjective. So, masculine violet will be violet, and in feminine it is violette. Okay, we come to the next color, and that is indigo. Indigo in masculine it is indigo. In feminine also, not much of a problem because it's same here, indigo. Now the third color here is blue. Blue in French is bleu. Not so difficult, as just there is an inversion of E and U and you get the color bleu in French. This in feminine, we add an E here and this becomes feminine. So it's the pronunciation is same, just the spelling is different with an additional E here. So it is bleu again. Green in French is vert. T as a consonant in the end is not pronounced, so it is vert. And in feminine it would be vert. Now the T is pronounced because in the end we have a vowel here. We have add additional E as we added it here, so it becomes vert. The pronunciation of R actually in French is a bit tricky and very difficult to get at times for non-native speakers, but that works, with the practice. Okay, and then yellow in French is jaune. Jaune, and as it is already ending in E, in feminine also it's the same, jaune. So my children remember it with the jaundice, jaundice. In jaundice people get, the color, they start going yellowish. So that is why you can remember it from there. Jaune. Jaune is yellow. Or there is another way of remembering the color here, jaune, because in the month of June it is very sunny and the sun is yellow, bright yellow. So from there also you can, take the clue that jaune is yellow. Now the orange. Orange is orange. Orange, AN is pronounced as on. So it is orange. And similarly here again, as it is ending in E, feminine also is the same, orange. And then red in French is rouge. Rouge. In feminine also it's the same, rouge. So I just repeat it once again. Violet, indigo, bleu, vert, jaune, orange, rouge. Now we learn what are the colors in the French flag. Okay, so here we have les couleurs du drapeau français. Drapeau is flag and this is masculine. Les couleurs du drapeau français. I'm again and again telling you the masculine and feminine of the words so that you don't have problem, because many people have problems with masculine and feminine, because language is something which has a lot of vocabulary, lot of words, and until you practice it is very difficult to get whether the word is masculine or feminine. So by the time we are just gathering the vocabulary, whatever words we are gathering, we'll learn whether they are masculine or feminine. So les couleurs du drapeau français. If you have seen the French flag, we have 3 colors here in the French flag. The first one is blue, and just now in this lesson I have told you what is blue in French. If you have followed the lesson, the blue in French is bleu. Bleu in the masculine, and in feminine it is bleu with an E, bleu. White we didn't do, we haven't done so far. The white is blanc, blanc. C in the end is not pronounced as it is a consonant, and an, as I told you, the pronunciation is on, so it is blanc. Here in the feminine it is bit different. We just don't add an e, we add he here. So this becomes blanche, blanche. Okay, now we come to the red. Red we have already done in the l'arc-en-ciel or in the rainbow, and if you remember, what was that? It was rouge. As it is ending in e, so feminine is also the same, rouge. Okay friends, after learning the colors in the French flag and the rainbow, we will do some more colors here. We will learn some more colors which were not there in those two things. And the first color we are going to learn here is black, an important color, black. So black in masculine is noir, and in feminine it's noir. Pronunciation basically is the same, but then feminine we make generally by ending an e. Okay, only the white was there, which I told you before this, where we add he to make feminine. Otherwise, generally for making feminine we'll have to add an e. Okay, now the second color here is maroon, okay, which is in French it is marron, on, the pronunciation is on, so it is marron, and feminine also is same, marron. If you see here, marron in feminine has not changed, okay, because orange and maroon, okay, orange and maroon, orange et marron, marron I have written here in French only, so it is orange and marron, they are invariable. Invariable means they remain same in feminine and plural, they do not change in feminine. And if I have to make the plurals of these colors, what I need to add is s here. If I want to make plural here of masculine, if I want to make feminine plural, I'll be adding an s here. But in case of maroon, in case of marron, and in case of orange, there is no change whether we are making feminine or if we are making plural. That means we will not add an e as we generally add, and we will not add an s as we generally add for making plurals. Okay, so they are invariable. Now we come to the next color, and that is pink. Pink is rose, rose, and in feminine also it is rose. Now the next color here is brown. Brown is brun, brun. Un is as we did in the articles unde, the pronunciation is so it is brun, and in feminine it is brune, brune. Now the next color here is grey, grey, a bit dull color, and then the masculine here is gris. The s in the ending is not pronounced, so it is gris. And to make it feminine, we will add one more e here, and this becomes grise. When the s comes between two vowels, the sound is z. This you would know if you are following the lessons. So this is grise. Okay. Now friends, we must practice what we have learned, because as they say, the practice makes a man perfect. Now what does it do to a woman? Well, that is more tricky question than to learn French. So we come back to our learning of French. So the first sentence here is le livre est, and you have to fill the color, and that is white. Okay, and livre here is masculine. This is again having a connection with the topic which we did in our last lesson. Okay, so the white, as I told you, in this lesson only, it is blanc and the feminine is blanche. Okay, now which one should we put here? Because the livre is masculine, so it will be le livre est blanc. The book is white. Now in the second one, la gomme est, and again you have to fill in the same color. Okay, and now this is feminine. Do you know what the gomme is? If you have followed the last lesson, you must know what is the gomme. La gomme is an eraser. So, la gomme est blanche. And the white, for making feminine, as I told you, we have to add HE, not just E here. Otherwise, generally we add an E to make feminine. Okay. Now in these next two sentences, we have to fill the color red. Le chapeau est... What is the red color in French? Yes, that is rouge. And now we have to, what is chapeau? Chapeau is hat. Le chapeau est rouge. So when we practice, we learn the vocabulary and we also learn how will we make sentences. Okay, what we have learned, the words. With those words, how will we make sentences and how will we use them in our conversation. Le chapeau est rouge. Then, la fleur est, again red, and rouge in feminine is the same because this ends in E already. So, la fleur est rouge. The flower is red. Then, le stylo est, and these two sentences we have to write the color blue. Le stylo est bleu, because it is masculine, we will write this bleu, and stylo is pen, so the pen is blue. La maison est, again bleu. To make this feminine, what would we do? We'll just add an E here, so this becomes la maison est bleue. That means the house is blue. Les cheveux sont. Now what is cheveux? It is hair. And you see this is plural. The hair are, and you have to write black. The color black in French is noir. And now because this is plural, so we'll add one more S here. So it will be les cheveux sont noirs. Okay? Do you get my point? All the adjectives have to be accorded according to the noun they are qualifying. And the colors are adjectives, so that is why it has to be accorded. If it is with feminine, you will add an E or HE in this case to make them feminine, and if it is plural, you have to make the color plural. Okay, so this is called according. According means you have to maintain the balance here. Okay. Now the next sentence is l'éléphant. Do you remember what is an elephant? That's easy. It's same as in English. L'éléphant est, you have to write the color gray. The color gray in French is, yes, you got that right, gris. So l'éléphant est gris. Now we have made this plural. Les éléphants, it's a liaison here. Les éléphants sont, the elephants are. Again, you have to write the same color gris. And how will we make it plural? If it is ending in S, the plural, you will not add one more S. Okay? It will remain the same. If it is ending in S, we don't add an additional S. So, you learn one more thing here. Okay. Now, how will we make few questions I'm giving you here? The first question we can ask someone, if you have followed my lesson on the basic conversation where we did some question answers which we can ask each other when we meet. Okay, so you can add these questions also there. Okay, so you can ask someone, c'est quelle couleur? C'est quelle couleur? This means this is which color? Okay, then the answer would be c'est rouge or c'est blanc, c'est bleu, c'est noir, c'est gris, any color, okay, whatever color is that. If somebody points towards a table and asks you, say quelle couleur, then you have to answer say whatever color it is of, okay. And the next question here is, quelle est votre couleur préférée? This is, which is your color preferred? Which is your preferred color? That means which color you like. So I want to know which colors the listeners you like. Well, my color, my favorite color is blue. So I would say ma couleur préférée est bleu. Ma couleur préférée est bleu. So that means my color preferred, my preferred color or my favorite color, you can say, is blue. Okay, so I would like to know what is your favorite color. So it would be good if you leave a comment, okay, in the comment box. So I would be happy to know what is your preferred color. Okay. Now the another question, we can use in the conversation can be quelle couleur, and these are related to the colors. That is why I am adding here for your vocabulary. So quelle couleur préférez-vous? It is just the another way of asking this. Which color you prefer? Which color you prefer? So answer here would be je préfère. Je préfère, I prefer, and then you can write the color, whatever color you like. Je préfère this color. So I would request you to leave a comment in the comment box and tell me what your preferred colors is. Okay, friends, I wish to teach you everything I have learned in French actually, but it is very difficult to do it in just one lesson. So gradually we keep adding to our knowledge. So today's lesson we learned about the colors. So I'll just summarize my today's lesson and tell you what is important. Okay. So the first important thing that you need to remember is colors are adjectives. Okay. So they have to agree. We have to accord them with the number and the gender of the noun. Okay. So example, un livre brun, because livre is masculine, so it is brun. And des, sorry, I forgot to put an S here. Des livres bruns. Plural has to take the plural color adjective. And then the second important thing we learned in the lesson was, generally the feminine is formed by adding an E to the masculine form. So bleu becomes bleu and gris becomes grise, and similarly the noir becomes noir. And if the masculine form is already ending in E, then there has to be no change. So rouge remains rouge and rose remains rose. The plural, if we have to form the plural, we have to add an S to the masculines and the feminine singular forms. So the vert becomes vert and the feminine vert here becomes vert with an ES. And if the singular form is already ending in S, as we learnt in the lesson, if it is already ending in S, there has to be no change. So this is already ending in S in masculine singular form, gris. So in plural also, this remains the same. Now all these rules will apply to all the color names, but they do not apply to orange and marron. They remain same. They are invariable. They do not change to feminine. They do not change to plural. So with feminine, plural, masculine, they remain as it is. Okay. So I would again request you to practice what we learn So this is all for today's lesson. Au revoir et à bientôt.